Welcome to the place where we encourage Brett Favre to come out of retirement. Again. These are your hosts, Brock Malik, Spencer Strand. I am Travis Brzezinski, and this is the Cover 3 Show.
What's up, guys? Right away, I'm going to jump right into it. I got a shout out. One of the most influential and smartest people that I know has given me some advice about the show, Mr. Michael Johnson. Now, granted, he's only watched the first about 45 seconds of each show, but he's the type of person that can make an accurate assessment of a show, and he thinks that we're too serious. You know, he doesn't know it's not a comedy show, but guys, we need to ramp it up a little bit, you know, for Mike, because he's putting in some good work. First 45 seconds. What's that?
Are we referring to Michael Johnson from the Cincinnati Bengals?
No, Michael Alt
Johnson. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So that's my guy.
Clear.
That's my guy. So
we ain't changing. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I'm just saying he's a brilliant man, so we need to accommodate him. You know. Just
okay. Mike, there's your shout out. I hope you found a little hilarity in that little bit.
I got it within the first 45 seconds for him, even.
And you know? Yeah, and now Mike probably just tuned out, right?
Oh yeah, that's it.
Now
you got a shout out, and he's done. So. All
right. Let's move on to our team power rankings, our top 5. Let's go from 5 to 1 this week, Spence, and not go from 1 to 5. All right?
Yeah.
All right.
So, starting with Brock, give me your 5 to 1, and just give me a little reason why you picked them.
Kansas City jumped up in there. I think they're the real deal. They got enough players around. Chicago, number 4. I don't know. They're winning. So number 3, New Orleans, another team that they're just winning. So that could easily, you know, they get a loss, could knock them out. But and then Seattle, and then Denver on top for obvious reasons.
Well, I went with New England at 5. I think 5's kind of wide open right now. I don't really know if they're really set in stone. I like Kansas City at number 4. I like New Orleans at number 3, and then Seattle at number 2, and Denver at number 1.
Okay. Exact copy of Brock. I did not steal his notes, but
You might have stole it.
I might have stole his.
Kansas City, Chicago, New Orleans, Seattle, and Denver. I cannot put New England up there. I feel like their schedule just hasn't warrant that honor, and they haven't really looked too impressive in their first 3 games. So
Chicago hasn't looked that impressive at all.
Oh, I disagree.
They're 3-0, so.
Yeah, it's the Patriots.
What are the Ravens?
Too.
Huh.
What are the Packers?
I ain't worried about it. It's early, right?
All right. It's early in the morning, and we are already a little chippy here.
Yeah.
Let's head to our Week 3 surprises and disappointments. Spencer, who do you have as your surprise for Week 3?
I would go with San Fran, that offense. I was watching the beginning of the game, and they were continuing to pound the rock, and they were moving the ball well. But they went away from it, and they started doing more 5-wide formations, and it really hurt them. And I don't know when they're going to go back to their old style of pound the run down people's throats. And then you can look at the other side of the ball with the 49ers defense versus the Colts run. They haven't gave up 100 yards to a rusher in forever, and they gave up over 150-some yards. And two rushing touchdowns on the game. They had 3 all of the year in 2011. They had 3 rushing totals. They've already given up 3.
Wow, that's a good stat. Michael Johnson, if you're still listening, Brock's going to speak.
I have the same game. Just the fact that Indianapolis even beat San Francisco, let alone beat them pretty good. I don't really have any great stats like Spencer had. You know, he kind of showed me up there, but it was surprising.
So safe to say, win 1 to Spencer?
No, half. Give him half.
Okay, we'll give him half a point. Spencer, that's 0.5 if you're wondering. To my surprise for Week 3, I'm going with the New York Jets. They have a top 10 offense. Okay, top 10 I said, under Rex Ryan. To me, that's just amazing. I know their schedule hasn't been too difficult, but even for them to start 2-1 when a lot of people thought they were probably the worst overall team in the NFL, I'm impressed with that. And Stephen Hill and Santonio Holmes, they actually look like offensive weapons, which that's pretty rare for the Jets over the last couple of years if you follow them closely. And it's hard not to follow them closely the way ESPN just loves talking about the Jets.
Pounds it.
So I really wonder if Rex Ryan will be a lame duck coach if he keeps on winning like this. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that.
I don't think the Jets deserve as much credit. Against Buffalo, they had 20 penalties, just as many points as they had, or almost had. I don't think they should have won the game. I think Buffalo just played terrible. Didn't know what they're doing out there.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Just want to remind everybody that you guys gave me so much crap for trying to pick Buffalo as an upset over New York.
This
But,
is true.
You know, it's one of those things. So,
You
moving
know,
on.
we were really just trying to protect you, Brock, because we knew
Well,
it was coming.
yeah. Should have protected me from my other picks. 'Cause, Jesus.
All right, let's head to our disappointments for Week 3, and we are not talking about Brock and I's picks. We're talking about our disappointments around the league.
It was one of them. Green Bay scoring 30 straight points and then blowing it. That's it. That's all.
I think
I
enough
agree.
said.
I think Packers had that game wrapped up, and that defense kind of I don't know. I think we got conservative on the offensive side of the ball, and the Bengals just got on his tear, I guess, and took over. But I think the biggest disappointment would be the G-men against Carolina. I was expecting them to bounce back a little bit, but to get blown out 38-0, not expecting that. Didn't look like a Tom Coughlin team. I don't know what to expect from this year.
I know my disappointments for the week was I was shocked by San Francisco getting, not that they lost, but the way they lost again, 2 straight weeks, just getting punched in the mouth. They were beat at their own game. They're usually known for being physical and just laying the hammer down, and Indy just gave it to them. And then my other disappointment on a individual player level is Josh Freeman. Ooh, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Benched his contract year, he cost himself millions. I mean, 45.7% completion percentage and a quarterback rating of 59.3. Ouch. That's like Mark Sanchez, Blaine Gabbert area right there.
Yeah, if he doesn't get a trade, he's not going to be getting a lot of money next year.
No. So,
Yeah, I was already at the point of sending people degrading texts about the Packer game, and they ended up backfiring terribly. So that was why I was so disappointed about it. But anyways.
that Packer game is one of those I have a feeling that a lot of fans won't forget too quickly.
No, definitely not.
So that wraps up our surprises and disappointments for Week 3. We are now heading to our Cover 3 Stats of the Week. Spencer, let's hear your interesting stat of the week.
My interesting stat would have to be Kansas City hasn't turned the ball over yet on offense, and they're 3-0, and I think they're one of the best teams out there right now, and I think they'll continue on that this week.
I like it. All right, mine is Peyton Manning, who is the third oldest position player in the league, and he's on pace to put up a 73% completion percentage, 6,096 yards, 64 touchdowns, no picks, 9.4 yards per attempt, and a 134.7 rating. And every single one of them would be an NFL record except for the yards per attempt. So, I mean, obviously, nobody can keep up that type of numbers, but the fact of what he's done in the first 3 weeks is unbelievable.
So
I
it's
agree.
safe to say that neck's feeling okay.
A little bit, yeah. The steel in there is really welded with the bone, and yeah,
I'm starting
That
to wonder.
stem cell. That stem cell's really
that's
feeling
probably, man.
I was thinking, I'm starting to wonder if they maybe put a little Iron Man thing in him or something. I mean, he's looking
Not possible.
superhuman.
That's not possible yet.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that. My stat of the week is, well, first of all, I want to ask you guys, if you had to guess, who has the lowest yards per attempt out of the 33 qualified quarterbacks, who do you guess it is?
Yards per attempt. I just have Josh Freeman stuck in my head because he gave all those terrible stats from before.
That's a very good guess. He's in the bottom 5. Spence, who are you guessing?
Probably
I think I know who you're going to say.
Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay. Well, I want to know what all of you guessed before I give you the answer out there. Tom Brady,
Oh, wow.
5.5 yards per attempt.
For a second,
I
I thought you were going to
didn't
say
expect that.
Aaron Rodgers, and I was about to Shut up, my
No,
computer.
A-Rod's always in the top 5, but it's just a little interesting because Tom Brady the last 3 years has ranked 8th with 7.58. He ranked 2nd in 2011 with 8.57, and then 5th in 2010 with 7.93. So I really wonder if that's just an indictment on his receiving core, or if they maybe changed up the game plan now, with everyone being hurt, Hernandez, locked up. I just wonder if that's something that is going to continue, or if it will eventually become more explosive than that.
I think it'll be more explosive. I think he's just taking what the defense is giving him right now. I mean, he's smart with the ball, and once he gets his weapons back, it'll increase a little bit.
Is Gronk supposed to play this week?
He's questionable.
Okay. So I would probably say maybe another week then? Questionable is what, 50-50?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
They asked Bill Belichick, and all he said the whole entire conference interview was he's inactive. And they would just keep it. We know he's inactive, but do you think he's going to get out there? And then they would just go, he's inactive.
Well, maybe we'll have to get our New England Patriot insider Mike Johnson on that story for us next week.
He's a busy man. I don't think we need to be burdening him like that,
That's true.
So.
And Mike, we know you're not watching right now, so.
Oh yeah, he's long gone.
Let's go to Week 4 and what we are watching for. Is there any intriguing storylines around the league that you two are going to keep an eye on?
I got a couple. The Chicago and Detroit game. 2 young, aggressive quarterbacks dueling. And to see how the Bears' O-line holds up against a really good defensive line. The last 2 games, the Bears have given up 7 sacks against the Lions. And if they can protect Jay Cutler, I think they'll have a pretty good chance of winning that game. But it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I'll stay right there with that game. Both 3-0 teams. Whoever gets the win, top of the AFC North. It's weird to think that probably the best team in Green Bay is 1-2 in that division right now. But and then I'm looking at the Miami-New Orleans game. I think I'm really excited to see that. I'm really excited to see where Miami ranks up with a top caliber team like New Orleans. Both 3-0. It's going to be in the Mercedes Dome. It's going to be a good game. Check it out.
For me, I just want to thank Mr. Alden Smith. I don't like to joke about drug use or anything like that, but
of course not. Of course not.
When I pick my defensive player of the year, I definitely pick someone that was going to be in there for the long haul for me. So thank you for that, Alden Smith. Basically took me out of the running for that.
Drugs screw Trev over again. Damn.
Oh, that drug use.
It was a DUI, wasn't it though?
Yeah,
it was like his second DUI or something.
Oh.
And I guess he checked himself into some rehab.
Oh my God.
Voluntarily. I use that loosely because I'm sure it's not voluntarily.
Yeah, I'm sure his team had something to say about that.
But I think it's kind of funny that we promote this London game once a year, and then now we give the London crowd 2 0-3 teams.
Yeah.
The NFL's finest.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of just a little funny.
I saw something interesting. Ryan Clark was talking about it, and they were like, how would you react if they put a team in London? And he's like, I'd retire. It's like it'd be so hard, for teams, 8 weeks out of the year to try to travel back to the States, and teams trying to travel over to London and trying to raise your family in a different country, which, I mean, it's England. It's not like it's,
right.
Africa, but still. It was, I don't know, I never heard someone talk about it.
I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't really get it. I mean, I can maybe see, I was going to say I can maybe see having a team in Canada because, it's just right across the border. But why
Canada doesn't give anything about
why ruin such a good thing? The NFL is so good right now. The product
National Football League,
Exactly.
Stay
if you're going to put a team in London, I feel like you have to almost put a whole division in Europe maybe.
Yeah.
Not just one team.
I agree.
I don't know. But my thoughts are on the Chicago-Detroit game. I'm looking to see if Reggie Bush is going to be that X factor, how healthy he will be. I think that's going to be huge. And then, can anyone stop Chicago's D from scoring a touchdown? They've already scored 4 defensive touchdowns this year, and year after year they know how to score when they get the ball in their hands on the defensive side of the ball. I want to see if they can stop that. And then I also want to see which wide receiver steps up behind Megatron and Brandon Marshall, because they are both very heavily targeted wide receivers, and now with Burleson being out, I want to see who can step up behind those two wide receivers.
Tight ends, baby.
Tight ends.
The moral of that story, don't eat pizza while you're driving a car, because you'll crash into a tree every single time.
Break your
Wow. Just a little philosophical nugget from yours truly. Or no, not yours truly.
It's not. It's not yours truly at all.
All right. Let's talk about the Seattle-Houston game. Let's take it down to Big Texas. What are some of the storylines in that game?
Could be a huge win for Houston for obvious reasons. The Texans have a -3 turnover ratio this year, and they're going to have to take care of the ball if they have any chance of beating Seattle. So that's the key thing is for Schaub and the running backs and the receivers, hang on to the damn ball.
Yeah, I don't think Houston has a chance. Not at all. I think it's not going to be as good of a game as people think. I think Seattle will roll on them. Schaub will probably throw at least 2 picks. Houston's is not as good as a team as I thought they were, and I think a lot of people think they're. I mean, right now, if you look in that division, you look at Tennessee and you look at Indianapolis, they're playing a lot better football. Like I said before in last show, Houston they could easily have been 0-3 right now. All 3 games were last-second comeback wins. Like they haven't played well yet, and I don't expect it to change.
I think everyone knows, and especially you two after this last show, that my loyalty does stand with Houston this year. But I have to agree with Spencer.
Is it changing already?
I mean,
it sounded like you were going back to the Jets a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, Geno looks pretty good.
No, I'm not changing. I'm going to be loyal for the year. But
oh my God,
I have to agree with Spencer. I mean, being a smart football fan, Houston, they are not a legit contender to me, not at this point. And I know Schaub is a good quarterback, but he's not going to win you a championship. The guy doesn't have those extra tools like arm strength or even pocket mobility. When everything breaks down and the game is on his shoulders, he's not going to be able to pull it out against the better teams. And I agree with Spencer. They could very easily be 0-3 right now. I've watched each one of their games this year, and they're lucky to be where they're at. I think Indy's going to be tough for them to hold off in the division this year. Now, on Seattle's side of the ball, I want to know if Houston can force Russell Wilson to pass the ball. He's only had 24 pass attempts per game on average this year. That's just unbelievable in this day and age in the NFL. They've ran the ball more than they've passed it. So I would really like to see, I'd like to see if Russell can do it by himself, passing it 35, 40 times this week and see what he's made out of.
I like it.
You like it, Spence?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
I love it.
Let's head down to ATL and discuss the New England-Atlanta game.
Could be a signature win for one of the good NFC teams that's 1-2, with the 49ers, Green Bay. And, a chance for New England to show that they are legit as well. So it could be a big game for both teams, and we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll be tough for New England to come into Atlanta and play in the Dome. Pretty hostile place. I expect that Atlanta should have a better showing than they did last week. But who knows? They're one of those teams that you either get the good side or bad side every week.
I think Atlanta is one of those teams that is very nicked up, and you can't use that as an excuse in the NFL. I mean, look at the Packers 2010, and then
Look at them this year.
Exactly. I mean, it happens to every single team, but Atlanta is just decimated on their offensive line. Roddy White is just a shell of himself. I wish he would just sit out. I know he wants to keep that streak, intact, but he is really not doing much for them. He needs to get that ankle healthy. And Tony Gonzalez, has he lost a step? He only has 93 receiving yards in his first 3 games total and 11 receptions. That's shocking to me.
Yeah.
And I really want to see, is New England's defense as good as the stats say they are? They are 8th in total defense for yards, and they are 2nd in points. To me, I don't think so, because they've played some really weak teams the first 3 weeks of the season. So what are your guys' idea about their defense?
Yeah, I agree. They played the Jets, who they're the Jets.
The Bills.
And the Bills. Yep. So
Tampa
2 rookie
Bay.
quarterbacks, and then Tampa Bay, Josh Freeman, who obviously has struggled. We talked about earlier in the show. So.
I kind of want to know who sets up these early season schedules, because that just looks, oh man, that's just so easy. Just
rather-
3-0 right off the
Yeah.
bat.
Well, I'd rather have it easier later on, if that's possible, than easier in the beginning. So I don't know.
I don't get into the whole scheduling thing. It's random. Every year they do it. It's not like someone's getting a better draw or anything.
No, it's not random, but I agree. I don't think people are getting better draws, but
No, it's definitely not. They do have a formula for it. They one division out of the opposite conference, and
Right.
I could go into the logistics of it, but I
No, you don't
want
have to. We know it.
Brock, I want to know, you being the Packer insider of the three of us, how do
Thank
you
you for
feel
that.
about having a bye in week 4?
I really didn't like the idea of it until week 3, when all these injuries started to pile up. So I'm still a little worried how we're gonna be. How banged up we're gonna be towards the end of the season, where most teams have their bye. But as of right now, it's not so bad. So I'm not as pissed off as I was about it. So
Okay.
what can you do?
All right. Let's head down to the Big Easy in New Orleans and hopefully preview a very competitive game between 2 3-0 teams for our Monday night showcase. What are some of the storylines you guys have?
It's another test for Tannehill and this Dolphins team. A little stat I have is Tannehill has been very good in the red zone so far this season. He's got 3 touchdowns, no picks, and 144 passer rating. So he needs to continue that production, take care of the ball down there, and continue to get it in the end zone.
Great stat.
Yeah, I think in the end it will be Tannehill versus Breeze. I think it's going to be a really good game. I think Miami's defense is a little better than New Orleans, so we'll see how that plays into effect, but I expect it to be a good game.
I think Tannehill is going to be forced to try to win it, based on his arm. We'll see if he can do it.
Did it last week.
I think when you look at these two offenses and defenses, you might say, okay, New Orleans obviously has a better offense. Miami probably has a better defense. But when you dig deeper and look at the stats, New Orleans is plus 85 yards per game in their offensive output, which is expected. But if you look at the stats, New Orleans' defense has allowed, on average, 77 less yards per game as well. So it's a huge stat mismatch in this game. So I'm looking to see if those stats hold true after this game. One of these teams will be 4-0.
Wow. Miami 4-0. That's
Ooh.
oxymoron almost. But all right, on to the cover 3 pick standings. Tough week for me and Travis Spencer with another lucky ass week.
Oh my God! How long are you gonna say it's lucky? All the way till week 17?
Possibly, we'll see. It depends.
Probably into the playoffs.
It depends how many Super Bowls I win on Madden. So, all right, me and Trav are 4-6.
Oh.
So, like I said, yeah, we struggle. I think we had one that we got right. So, bad week.
I think we need a bye, Brock.
Yeah, it's time for a bye. Serious. And Spence is 8-2. So obviously that's a little, a little bit distorted. All right, the fantasy sleeper winner, Spencer. I don't know if he had one or not. He wouldn't let me know what his one was after the
Bernard
show.
Pierce, dude. Bernard Pierce.
How many points did he have?
I don't know exactly. He had like
Okay.
14 points, I think.
Nah.
Oh, I don't know if he had that. Did he have a touchdown?
Yeah, he had a touchdown and
Okay.
like 50 yards.
Okay.
Or 60
All right,
yards.
Yeah, I knew he had
Spencer-
60-some yards. Sorry, Brock.
Travis had Harry Douglas, -1 points. So he's not in the running for this week's. Alex Smith had 13 points, and since I don't know for sure about Bernard Pierce, I'm going to give myself the win on the
No,
fantasy
you don't.
sleeper.
We talked about this, Travis. He does not get the win for that.
Yeah.
A quarterback does not get a win for 13 points.
All right, fair enough.
Spencer
I
and
get the win
we
again.
kind of.
Put it
It's
on
a
my-
tie. It's a tie.
No, it's not. I get the win again.
We'll see. I'll have to look into it again.
I won week 1 with Ben Tate.
Yeah,
Who
you've
won
been
last
nowhere
week?
near. You've been nowhere near. All right, bold prediction. I just went crazy with it and said EJ Manuel would have 3 touchdowns. Nah, he had 1. Travis said Breeze and Stafford would have over 400 yards. It was close. Stafford had 385 and Breeze had like 350 or something. And Spencer predicted the Ravens would run for 100 yards. No. So Travis gets the win for the bold prediction recap.
Can't win them all. Can't win them all.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Oh, I at least redeemed myself in that part.
Yeah, a little bit.
Now, this week, we have to take Spencer down on these picks. I have a feeling, though, he's just going to copy our picks. So
Yeah, we'll let him
Why
go
would
first.
I copy your
Go
picks?
first,
4 and
Spence.
6? Why in the hell would I copy your picks?
Go first, Spence.
So now we're gonna give you our week 4 picks and predictions. We're gonna let the top dog go first. Spencer
That would be
Strand.
me. Spencer
Chicago
Strand
at Detroit.
Check me out. All right. Chicago-Detroit game. I'm taking Detroit at Ford Field. Don't think Chicago's as good as everyone thinks they are. I'm going to take Seattle over Houston.
No.
Jesus.
One
Spence.
game at a time.
Slow your roll. I'll take Detroit as well.
Oh, 1 game at a time.
Okay. Hey, it's all right. It's early.
Sorry, I thought it was the top dog. I thought I could just take all mine off, right away.
Once you win a Super Bowl in Madden this
Yeah,
year, maybe
you're
we'll
not
talk about
that much
I won
of a
3
top
last
dog. You just had to get that in there. I'm actually taking Chicago. I do think they're as good as they look. They will win the NFC North. Burleson being out, don't know how healthy Bush is. Chicago rolls. Let's head to Houston. Seattle at Houston. Who do you have, Spencer?
I have Seattle. I think they're the much better team. I think they're in a totally different level than Houston is. Seattle.
I agree, Seattle.
I agree. Seattle, you can't trust Houston's up and downs. And Seattle's defense has held 9 out of the last 10 opponents to the 17 points or less. I don't think they do that this week, but I think they hold them into the 20s and they win. Let's go to Atlanta. New Orleans at the Falcons.
I'm actually going to take Atlanta.
New England, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, whoa, I messed up here. Okay.
I'm going to take Atlanta at home. I think they get back on track this week, go to 2-2.
I take Atlanta as well. I wish you would have switched up your picks a little bit so I can gain up some ground here. But
I got to go with the Dirty Birds as well. I'm thinking the same thing as Brock, but I really do see Atlanta showing the weaknesses in New England's team. So I think Atlanta's only 2 plays away from being 3-0. I know you can say that about a couple teams, but I think they play well in the Dome, and New England's easy schedule definitely makes people think about their 3-1 start. Let's head to our Monday night showcase, Miami at New Orleans.
As I picked Miami last week, I'm really hot on them. Like them a lot this year. Like what Tannehill's been able to do, but I'm going to have to go with the home team. I'm going to have to go with Breeze. He's just looked flawless back there. And that defense, like Trav said, has been playing a lot better. Malcolm Jenkins finally looks healthy in the back there. So I'm going to take New Orleans at home.
I'm going to do the same. Saints always play good in their dome.
I like that little tease, Spence. You had me thinking you were gonna go with Miami again.
Oh.
Not this week.
I say New Orleans in the Dome. It's gonna be loud.
Holy.
Oh my age.
New Orleans
Ooh.
defense is much improved, like Spencer said, and you got to go Breeze anytime, except maybe over Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers. Breeze rolls over Tannehill. New Orleans. Now to our upset picks of the week. Let's hope these two get it right this week and pick an actual upset.
My upset, I'm taking Tampa Bay over the Arizona Cardinals. I think Mike Glennon gets his
That's
first
bold
win
as hell.
starter. Not saying he's going to do a lot, but I think they're going to get back to the pound and the run with Doug Martin, and I expect that defense to play well, and I think Carson Palmer might as well just retire now. He has no mobility in the back there. If you get any rush on him at all, he's not going to be able to get rid of it.
All right, mine is, I can't even really believe it, but New York Giants over Kansas City. I think that they're going to rebound after that loss, and they're going to they're going to give everything they have because they really have nothing left to lose. So
I'm gonna give Brock 2 thumbs up for being very bold. Good pick.
What about me?
You're saying nothing.
Tampa Bay?
Win a Super Bowl and then let's talk.
I think Tampa Bay over Arizona is definitely an upset, but I think anytime you have an 0-3 go over 3-0, I think that's pretty bold.
Yeah.
With my upset pick of the week, let me know what you guys think about this. I have
Point to me.
San Diego over Dallas.
That's not even an upset pick.
What?
Dude,
Every-
they're
if
both
we're
the
gonna-
same. They're both
if
the
we're gonna-
same.
If we're gonna do this every week, seriously, then no.
Well, San Diego is the underdog in Vegas, and they do have the worst record. So I think that could be
You're
classified
good,
as an
Trev.
upset.
You're good.
Okay. And
That's bullshit, because I would have picked that.
watch your language. Michael
Watch it,
Johnson's
pal.
Michael Johnson's watching this. I think San Diego's been in every game, kind of like Atlanta. They could be 3-0, coulda,
Probably
shoulda,
should've been
woulda,
upset, but yeah.
and Dallas is just due for a loss. After they have a good game, it just seems like they have to come back down to earth. So, are you really gonna gripe about that one, Spence?
I just don't think it's an upset, but I'm not
I
gonna
think he.
gripe about
I
it.
think he
We
can
can move
pipe
on.
down. Pipe down, Spence.
Let's head to our fantasy sleepers of the week.
All right, I'll start it off. Le'Veon Bell, running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Looks like he's gonna make his debut in London, and I don't know. Maybe he'll give him some type of life. We'll see. Spencer didn't hear anything, so.
No, I heard
On
it,
to
yeah.
you. On
No,
to you.
that's a sketchy pick, dude. That ain't gonna give you shit. I'll
Oh,
tell you
okay.
right now.
All right,
Oh,
cool.
sorry for swearing.
Oh, Mike
Um,
Johnson's crying right now.
My fantasy sleeper is gonna be Doug Martin. They're gonna get back to running the
Oh, that's a sleeper. He's like a number 3 pick in every league.
this year, and I expect him to have a huge year or a huge week.
Yeah, he was like the
Oh,
number 3
boy.
pick in every league. That's not a sleeper. That's about as.
Are
Oh
you
my
kidding me, dude? He hasn't done anything yet this year.
It doesn't matter. He's like guaranteed to go
That's
off.
kind
at
of
some
like
point.
saying, okay, if Gronk's going to play this week, I'm going to go with Rob Gronkowski.
No,
Yeah.
that's not
Because he hasn't done anything this year. But
Peyton
that's
Manning, I think, is going to have a great week. He's my sleeper.
Okay, Brock, easy.
Whatever. You're.
All right, come back to me. Let me think about it then.
Okay, all right. Brock honestly took my fantasy sleeper this week.
Take
So
it.
I'm-
Take it as well. Let's pick how many points. Let's say over or under.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that I like that. I'm going to go with Le'Veon Bell as well. I'm going to say, how about we make it 10 points over under? Does that sound good?
Okay. So
Or are we just going to pick like how many points we think and who's
yeah, and whoever's closer.
Okay. What do you pick?
I pick 15 points.
15 points? I'm
Yeah.
going to say 12 points.
12 points. All right.
Le'Veon Bell, Pittsburgh. I think Minnesota's rush defense, which is ranked 21st, I think he might have a pretty decent rookie debut. Spencer, do you have any other fantasy sleepers like Peyton Manning?
Doug Martin's fine. Just whatever.
Good one,
Adrian,
guys. Good
Adrian
one.
Peterson.
I'm gonna go with Mod Bradshaw.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
Sleeper after having about
over 10 points.
18 points last week. So. All
Yeah,
right.
but he's not the starter. It's him and Trent
I
Richardson.
think Ahmad
Yeah, I know.
Bradshaw is actually valid because
Yeah,
now that
I-
Trent Richardson's there, I think that's doable.
I agree. I was just
I mean, you
giving
can
him.
pick which one you want me to have, I guess. But
No, that's
Mod
not how
Bradshaw's
this works.
all right, sounds good. I'm gonna say over 10 points.
All right, let's go with our bold predictions. Ice cold bold predictions of
wow.
the week. Let's start with Spencer because he's the top dog, and we,
All right,
we need to hear what he has
let me
to
just get
say.
into it quick and cut you off quick. Thanks.
Got
The past 2 weeks, the Ravens have held their opponents without a
Every
touchdown.
week.
And I think this week they're going to do it again for 3 weeks in a row. I think that defense is starting to mesh well. So look for no touchdowns in Buffalo or for Buffalo this week.
Oh man,
Um,
what a homer pick! Every single week,
cares?
something's got to be about Baltimore.
Okay, who cares?
I'm just giving you a little flack.
Still a good bold prediction.
I'm giving you a little flack.
come back
Oh.
to me.
Okay. My bold prediction, it's already been kind of brought up throughout the show. I think Mike Glennon gets his first career win in his first career start, and I think he pushes Josh Freeman closer and closer to that door. I think Mike Glennon gets it done against Arizona.
All right, I like it. My bold prediction: Cincinnati will hold Cleveland Cleveland's offense to under 10 points. They looked great last week, and Cleveland they had their one little push against the Vikings, but they're done.
That's kind of interesting. What do you guys think about Brian Hoyer? Do you stay with him? Do you go back to Whedon?
Looks like he's the guy now.
Dude, I would stay with Hoyer.
Start, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's too bad for Brandon Whedon, the 35-year-old rookie.
Rookie, yeah.
But that's the way it goes in the NFL. Is there any other closing remarks that you two have, maybe for Michael Johnson?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Michael again. Like I said, he's probably not watching unless he watches the first 45 and the last 45. I don't know how he does it. But that, and can't wait to win a couple more Super Bowls in Madden. I'm 3-1 against Spencer. Feels great, so just keep it rolling.
Spencer, what do you have to say as a rebuttal?
Yes,
no
nothing.
comments to no shout-outs. I think we had a great show. Hope people keep tuning in. It's a great time every week. Look forward to next week. Top dog, I'm out.
Oh, wow.
Once again, I'd like to thank whoever and all those people that do watch this show through its entirety.
Oh, okay.
We know it's not Michael Johnson, but we'd like to thank everyone else. And once again, who needs man-to-man when you can choose cover 3? See you next week.